You probably know the feeling. An appointment or errand runs a little late and there's a parking ticket greeting you on the windshield of your car.
Yeah, most of us grudgingly fork over the fine. But a 41 Action News investigation found some scofflaws have been letting their tickets pile up for years. Investigator Ryan Kath tracked down the top offenders.
And Mark, we found not just people, but companies ignoring dozens upon dozens of violations. We also discovered a major glitch in the city's new technology.
Start with this first one here. Expired meters and no parking zones. Get the ticket.
Derek Page is on the hunt.
I try not to miss nothing.
The parking enforcement officer has been prowling Kansas City's downtown streets for more than a decade.
I try to get at least 25 to 30 tickets or more.
With that badge of honor, it might surprise you why he enjoys the job.
I'm a public person. I like socializing with the public.
And socialize he does.
You know, you're in a handicap zone.
But it's usually a one-way conversation.
You didn't tag that red car, did you?
Yeah, I just issued a ticket, sir. Expired 113.
Maybe you've bumped into Page once or twice a year, and that's been enough to learn your lesson.
Once I write that ticket, sir, it goes straight to municipal court.
But there are some cars in Kansas City
We got expired meter.
that Page seems to find again and again and again. 41 Action News reviewed almost 40,000 unpaid parking tickets kept in the municipal court's database.
Excuse me, Aaron?
And then we found Aaron Wendell.
We're working on a story about unpaid parking tickets.
Okay.
We've got you on the top of the list.
On the top of the list again, huh?
Again?
Wendell told us he already paid almost 100 unpaid tickets back in 2008. But the business owner still managed to collect more than 80 other tickets parking outside his downtown office.
Aren't you worried about being arrested for having this many unpaid parking tickets?
I guess that's a risk. It's a chance.
We also tracked down Brenda Nelson.
We need to talk to you.
About?
Parking tickets.
Yes, I live downtown and I have lots of them.
We noticed.
Just the day before, we saw her car parked outside her apartment at an expired meter, with more than 50 tickets already on her record.
Most people would wonder, isn't there a place you can park legally?
There's legally, but not for free. There's really no free parking downtown.
Did it surprise you even when you saw some people with more than 50?
It absolutely did.
So how do some people end up amassing 50, 60, 70 unpaid tickets?
They're lucky, that's all it is.
Municipal Court Administrator John Franklin said drivers have a warrant issued after just one unpaid ticket. So chronic offenders are just one traffic stop away from being handcuffed.
Maybe they like the thrill of the chase. I don't know.
We sat down with Franklin to discuss our findings. One thing we noticed is that rental car companies were some of the worst offenders. The law allows them to pass the cost to their customers, but that doesn't seem to be happening. The list shows Hertz owes more than $10,000 for 247 tickets.
That's kind of a conundrum. You can't arrest a company. We can issue a warrant in the name of the company, but there's no way to really enforce that warrant.
Because of the conundrum, are they basically getting a free pass?
Yes.
Expand on that.
I don't think they care.
And then there was this discovery. Hundreds of tickets issued without any names. Almost all of them stacked in chronological order immediately after the municipal court's transition to paperless records last year.
When we looked at the report, there was a big chunk that was coming up as unknown. What's the explanation there?
When you did that, it instantly popped out and said, there's a variance here, something's not right.
So the report revealed a glitch.
Yes, it did.
Sometimes it takes a while, that little wheel to spin.
Turns out the new handheld devices provided to city parking enforcement officers like Page did not have access to out-of-state driving records, even license plates right across the state line in Kansas.
Have a nice day.
Ticket.
Unless you want one.
No.
In our database, those violations simply showed up as unknown. Franklin said the glitch has been corrected, and staff members have gone back to review those tickets.
So prior to the glitch being noticed, was that essentially coming down to be a waste of resources?
It would have been, had we not identified it. You, frankly, your station triggered that review.
And with the new electronic database, Franklin said it will be tougher for the city's top scofflaws to hide in the weeds.
I will be turning them over to the police.
Despite that warning, Nelson doesn't sound like she plans to pay up.
I just don't have the money right now.
According to court records, she has been arrested twice for parking tickets before, the first time way back in the 80s. So it's not an issue that popped up overnight.
So you don't feel like you have any options?
Nope, I do not. I really don't. I will probably leave the city, especially now that you've got me back on the radar.
And Wendell claims he's changed his ways.
Yesterday I parked on the street and I even put money in the meter, which is kind of a novel thing for me. So
was your hand shaking while you did that?
Yeah, a little bit.
But as we pointed out, most of the remaining unpaid tickets are registered to a car under his wife's name. So if she gets busted for his tickets, the cops or the court will be the least of his worries.
I suppose that when you have a camera sticking in your face, it's probably about time to get that sort of stuff taken care of.
All right, Mark, so a couple of the individual stories there. Here are some of the big picture stats we came up with. On our list, the top 20 people owe a combined $30,000 in fines. We found at least 160 people who owe 10 or more unpaid parking tickets. And get this, if everyone paid their fines today, it would be a $1.8 million windfall for the city.
A city that's really struggled with the budget. Now, when you look at this, you're surprised there's not more. Other cities, you hear horror stories of arrests, cars being towed or booted. Nothing else like that?
Yeah, you bring that up. You know, police told me they don't seek out drivers with unpaid parking tickets in Kansas City. It's not something that affects your driving record. But a few years ago in Olathe, they had problems with unpaid parking tickets around the Johnson County Courthouse.
Yeah, I remember.
They started using one of those parking boots for the top offenders. I talked to them today. They said the problem just pretty much vanished. They don't even use the boot anymore.
Oh, 1.8 million. Maybe that'll get us get some attention. Very good story. Thanks, Ryan.